Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We are from Group 3, want to present about Islamic Liberal. My name is Siti Aisyah Kamaruddin. This is my group member. Firstly, Muhammad Qayyum, Umar Mukhtar, Fatul Aiman, Nur Husna Izzati, Hanan Hadfina, Nur Aina Atira, Nurul Adibah, Aiman Humaira, Nur Khairiyah, Nur Shafia Hanis, and lastly, Muhammad Sahli.
My name is Nur Husna Izzati binti Fazli. My matric number 1212616. Today, we want to present about Islamic liberalism. Islamic liberalism is an incorrect assumption that results from self-doubt and a sense of inferiority. Islamic liberalism is a group of Muslims who are open-minded about Islam. Liberalism is influenced by the belief that originates in Western nations and has permeated all measures of life, including politics, economics, culture, and religions.
My name is Nur Aina Atira binti Rosli, match number 1212621. Based on our survey, we choose Islamic liberalism as the tasawwuf issue because this topic received a lot of attention. We decided to go with two current issues, and the first one is defining basic rights of LGBT, and the second one is allowing the practice of religious pluralism in Islamic law.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. So today I would like to talk about the issue. So the first issue is defending basic right to LGBT. So sometimes a person is born in a family that knows everything about religious matter, but due to self-pressure or they themselves realize that they have felt an attraction to LGBT things. The problem of the sexual and gender disorder that refer to the lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender, which is LGBT community, is not a new issue. Allah Subhanahu Wa Taala explained that the problem of homosexuality has been going on for a long time among the people of Prophet Lut alaihi salam. Okay, so for the second point, which is increased LGBT participation in Malaysia. So JAKIM's Deputy Director of Family, Social and Community Development, Dr. Med Izzawan Mat Yusof, said the statistics involved were recorded through various sources with the result showing an increase in the worrying trend. He said most of the lesbian, gay, bisexual and transgender, which is LGBT community, started when they were boarding school, especially for the children and young boys aged 20 to 15, because they are immature and cannot distinguish the type of touch on them. In some cases, the children and adolescent boys are approached by senior students while at boarding school, so thus resulting in the existence of a factor of addiction to same-sex sex and turning into a gay person. Okay, so last but not least, the less resistant, the more people they are fighting for it. So for example, they are only writing that appear to say that this LGBT is not a sin, but instead blame Islam and say that only primitive people say that they are bad effect if some sex marriage happen.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, I will continue to the second issue, which is religious pluralism. Liberal Islam school of thought about Islam and other religions. Liberal Islam school of thought believe that Islam is the true religion, but at the same time believe in other religions. For example, Dr. Nukris Majid is one of leading liberal Islam thinkers that, like a well, the center of the well is God, and the spokes are the path of various religions. This pluralism also equals all religions to consolidate the position of Islam and further lower the position of Islam itself. Next, second point is desire for freedom in interpreting the verse of Al-Quran. Fighter of liberalism has stated that their desire for freedom in interpreting the verse of Al-Quran. For this case, in the Al-Quran, the punishment for people who steal should be cutting off their hand, but according to liberal Islam, have changed the sentence to imprisonment and caning.
LGBT people have been severely condemned among the Malaysian Muslim community. Islam views the issues of making change to oneself or body as a method that contradicts the religions of Islam. Surgery to change gender welfare from male to female or otherwise clearly contradict Islamic law. Therefore, this default should not be left unchecked by instead require effort to prevent it from causing various harms and problems to the harmony of race, religions, and nations. Various approaches, the methods of prevention of default can be carried out. Malaysia has law to prosecute homosexual crimes either through civil or Sharia.
Okay, bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Okay, so next we move to the implications of the pluralism. Okay, so first of all, the development of pluralism in Malaysia will have a profound negative effect on Muslim in the country. So, if the pluralism implement, it will disrupt the development of the Muslim generation and will cause confusion regarding the beliefs of the Ahli Sunnah wal Jama'ah, which is the basis of faith of Muslims in Malaysia. Okay, second, pluralism states that no religion is worthy of denying other religions or claiming that its religion alone is absolute. Okay, so this concept is very baseless because there is no religion more noble than Islam. And indeed, Islam is the true religion. Okay, so this will give a bad effect, which is the others religion will have the big loss of respect for the Islam, and Islam will be seen as a weak and contemptible religion. Okay, so third, the purpose of pluralism is to make it easier for every Muslim activity to be carried out without religion's boundaries and without having to follow all the rules that law sets by the Sharia. So the aftermath is the world will become a mess with human cruelty because they have no guidance on the right path towards goodness. Okay, so last but not least, pluralism have stated that the Al-Quran is not logical to use in today's age. So if the Muslim themselves don't believe in the Quran, so then they are automatically considered as infidels and they will living a way of life without being guided by the Quran. Okay.
Next, we move to the part solution of the issues. In an effort to deal with these LGBT and religious pluralism issues, there is an urgent need to create standard and easy to follow enforcement and prosecution guideline. Therefore, it is necessary to establish a standard operating procedure, which is SOP, or a comprehensive written guideline on the procedure for handling complaints for offences related to these issues. Other than that, in order to overcome this issue, the authority, especially the Council and the Department of Islamic Religion, must shoulder the responsibility of making community aware of the threat to LGBT and religious pluralism. The threat of this belief can be overcome if the community fully understand the creed, fiqh and Sufism advocated by Ahli Sunnah wal Jama'ah. When we already know and understand the true characteristic of Ahli Sunnah wal Jama'ah, there is definitely no problem to face threats from the enemies of Islam.
On to the next solution to serve Islam liberalism, which is LGBT and pluralism, is the role of government. Government needs to ensure all the activities organized by any organizations in Malaysia must not indirectly promote any of Islam liberalism. Next one is the role of parents. Parents need to observe and also expose more way people of Islamic education to their kids because it will protect their akidah in the future.
Summary. There are 5 points that I summarized from this case. First of all, the liberal perspective continues to be seen with the ideology that argue that if Muslims want to progress like their West, their thinking must be transformed. Secondly, liberalists have argued that their desire for freedom in interpreting Quranic verse, where they say the concept of truth is of a relative nature. Next, liberals open the door to homosexual activity by defining LGBT practice as a sexual orientation right that all parties should respect that directly give bad impact and give harm to our country yours. Furthermore, we must understand law as a discipline by knowing and understanding an issue with all Sharia laws derived from the Quran and Sunnah through extensive research. Lastly, the negative impact on the Islamic religion directly include faith, social and legal aspects.
That's all from us. Thank you for hearing.